Hello and welcome back again this evening. And you know, tonight I've got an amazing woman with me. She is one of the life's great motivators. She really is. She's a breath of fresh air. She, you know, in the morning, her morning routine that she puts on Facebook just have us all in stitches, and just such fun to be around. She's absolutely wonderful. And today we're talking about Hilary Pound. And for those that don't know Hilary, she is a Bowen therapist, Bowen, Bowen therapist. She's also a reflexology, Reiki teacher, master. She has a whole string of treatments under her belt, but she's also a gardener and very much into, you know, working with the land as well. So it's a great pleasure. And you can hear from, you know, her where she is at the moment. She's got a fabulous fire going too, so we can hear the cackling of the fire. So I'm passing you straight over to Hilary. Hello, Hilary.
Hello, hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right, just admiring your fire there. It looks fantastic.
Yes, it's cold today.
It is a bit. So can I ask you, Hilary, where were you brought up? Were you brought up in Shropshire?
No, I was born in Kendall in the Lake District.
In the Lake District? Yeah. Wow. And so, you know, did you go to school there when you were small?
I did indeed. I was born in Kendall and was brought up in a tiny little village called Heversham. So I went to a little primary school there. And then I went to Kendall High School for young ladies. Not quite sure if that did me any good. And I was in Kendall till I was 21.
Wow. So what kind of child were you? Were you quite an extrovert or very introverted or quiet?
I was probably quite extroverted at primary school. And then I become, I suppose, quite introverted at the high school because I was bullied there. It wasn't very nice. So I kind of went from loving school to not liking school.
And, you know, you say then that you stayed in Cumbria until you were 21, in the Lake District, sorry, till you were 21. So what did you do when you left school? Did you have a job there or did you go into higher education?
No, I never really kind of found anything I wanted to do. I was going to go to college, but I didn't. And then I just thought, you know, staying in one place isn't for me. So I put a rucksack on my back and went off travelling.
Where did you go?
Oh, crikey, what a long story. I started off in a ski resort, which I loved.
Where was that?
In France, Chevalier. Absolutely loved that. I was just a chambermaid. I got my skiing free and my ski pass. And then after that, I tried to come back to the UK, and after travelling, I didn't really want to. I worked at Pontins for a bit. So it's kind of, once I'd started travelling, that was it really. And then I went to Europe for 4 years, Canada for a year, Israel for a year, and then ended up back in Wiltshire.
Wiltshire. So what took you back to Wiltshire?
I actually met a gentleman who ended up being the father of my children, and he'd lived in Wiltshire, so I come back to the UK and went to where he'd been brought up.
Yeah. And how did you enjoy your time in Wiltshire?
I loved Wiltshire, absolutely loved it.
And where did you go then? So how did you end up back in Shropshire? Because if you're born up in Cumbria and then you go travelling around the world and you end up in Wiltshire, how did you end up halfway between Wiltshire and the Lake District?
Family roots. My godmother was here and she passed away, but she was 98. So I just had this opportunity to come and live in her house. So I did.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad you did as well. So
am I.
So then what did you get into? How long have you been in Shropshire?
6 years in August.
Wow. So how did you get into the holistic side of life? You know, you're saying about the Bowen therapy and that and other therapies. Did you learn them when you were down south or going around the world, or was this all stuff that you learned when you got here?
No, I've been into holistic therapies for about 20 years now. Sadly, the father of my children ended up in a wheelchair when he was 30, and it kind of makes you look at different avenues. Sadly, the medicine world couldn't help him, so we obviously tried everything we could. And first of all, I got into Reiki, which was a massive part of my life, then massage, and then somebody just said, try the Bowen. I did, and it was the only thing that remotely helped Dave's pain at all. And that was it. I was sold. I'm passionate about all my treatments, but for us, the Bowen really, really worked. So got into that, and I've been doing it ever since.
And you're talking about, these are all very much changes in your life. I mean, going from Cumbria to France, or all the other countries, did you speak the language, or did you just go there and hope for the best?
I spoke very bad schoolgirl French. I didn't speak any Israeli at all. And the other countries, I lived in Holland for 3 years. I tried to pick up a bit of language as I went along. Dutch was quite hard because obviously everybody speaks English really well. But I loved the Dutch. I didn't have a car while I was in Holland. I just cycled everywhere. Love Canada. I could have quite happily settled there if I could have been legal. So yeah, I've really enjoyed my travels. I've learnt loads as I've gone along. Yeah.
So in Canada, whereabouts in Canada were you?
We set up in Montreal, which was the coldest place on the planet. It was about -44 chill factor in winter. And then we went up and stayed in Vancouver for the summer. So we were there about a year altogether.
And then coming back into the UK, and then you've moved up to Shropshire. I've met you at festivals, and you do a lot of things, workshops at festivals or talks. So how did you feel when you moved to Shropshire? Was this I know you're saying your godmother came here, but was this the first time you'd actually been here long term, or did you used to come up for holidays or anything like that?
I came up for the odd holiday. The first year, I'll be honest, I thought, oh, what have I done? I obviously missed my friends in Wiltshire, missed my lifestyle, but my neighbours were fabulous. I met lots of people through my holistic therapies and my gardening, and I just love Shropshire. I just feel it in my heart. I just love it. I drive along and I just smile. I love it.
It's a fabulous, and you've got a fabulous view over Ponsbury Hill where you're at as well. Yeah, absolutely fabulous. So now you're doing your gardening as well. That's come into the equation too. So how does people find out about what you're doing? Are you doing it from a centre? Is your gardening? Do you have a Facebook page that people can contact you?
I'll be honest with gardening, it really is quite easy to. I'm not very good at social media, as all my friends know. With gardening, you just put up a little note in your local shop, and it goes from word of mouth. I've got lots of lovely elderly clients. I've learned loads off them. They just have got all the knowledge. They just can't do it anymore. And it's just a lovely little community out here. I just love it. So really lucky.
And your holistic therapies, you obviously.
I found that hardest to promote just because I'm not good at social media. So we've got a little local Reiki group, which we have once a month, which is free. And we all meet up. And again, I tend to do my therapies just word of mouth because I'm not good at social media. So just hope people find out about me, really.
Oh, I'm sure they will. And if, you know, anybody wants to get a hold of you and they can't sort of find you, they can always contact me for sure. And I'll be happy to put them in touch with you, Hilary. But, you know, on Facebook, it's through Hilary Pound, isn't it? You don't have a special Facebook page, do you?
I don't anymore, no, just
No,
because
okay.
mainly what's gone on with COVID and everything. So I've just kept my personal Facebook page at the moment.
So, plans for the future, obviously staying in Shropshire, but plans for the future with regards to travelling, because I know you go travelling quite a bit as well. You know, I seem to see you popping up in all sorts of places. It's fabulous watching you go off in your travels and enjoy your life. So, you know, what plans are in the future?
Well, I'm very lucky. I just had 2 months in the Canary Islands and did every single one of them this winter and absolutely loved it. But I did feel on one level it could be maybe the last of my big travels for now. But I've got a beautiful old Renault traffic camper van. She's old, she's 30 years old, no power steering, but she's brilliant. And I want to do Wales and Scotland this winter. And I also, and I'm really excited about this, I am a herbal apprentice. And I go to the Cotswolds once a month, and I'm just learning all about my herbs and everything, and I just love it. So I'm just really lucky.
And the herbs as well, because when I was last out visiting you, you had all your herbs in the garden, didn't you? You were growing lots of herbs and flowers and...
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got, I wouldn't say everything growing in my garden, but lunch today comprised of lettuce, spring onions, radish, carrots, beetroots, new potatoes, peas, beans, all out the garden. And yeah, I'm growing as many herbs as I possibly can. Sarah Head, the lady that's teaching me, is a massive, big inspiration. And yeah, I just love nature, really. I'm passionate about it. So
if anybody was watching this and bearing in mind, you know, all the changes that you've made, you know, going to different countries and dealing with different cultures, sometimes in some occasions different languages, if someone now was thinking about, you know, especially with COVID, and a lot of people now have got to make big changes, you know, maybe not volunteered for those changes, but maybe have to make them. What would you suggest? How would you, you know, what would you say to them if they feel they've got changes to make and feel a wee bit unsure and, you know, feel a bit insecure? Is there any advice you would give anybody if they were to make changes?
I kind of got through life a bit like feel the fear and do it anyway. With what's gone on now, I was very lucky. My friend was in lockdown with me. We actually called it a wellness retreat because we didn't like the term lockdown. It kind of, I don't know, we thought if we call it a wellness retreat, it sends out a different energy. I struggled a bit, but I kind of called in my angel of acceptance, and I just accepted the situation. And honestly, how lucky I was. I've got a garden, I'm a gardener. So I think everybody's coping with it differently. But I would just try and accept the situation. And if, oh, I don't know, it's hard one now. I'm getting recorded, aren't I? I just think go with your gut feeling. If you want to go off and do something, do it now, because there might not be a tomorrow. And I'm not saying that negatively. We don't know what future's going to bring. So if you suddenly want to do something in your life, don't procrastinate. Do it now. Go for it.
I think that's brilliant advice. Absolutely brilliant. Well, Hilary, it has been an absolute joy having this wee chat with you. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. I didn't know that you were born up in the Lake District. What a wonderful place to be.
Oh, my mum was born in the Garbles in Glasgow, June.
Yeah, I know, but it's still a lovely place to be brought up, isn't it? In the Lake District, it's
Oh,
fabulous. Yeah,
definitely. We're blessed. We've got a beautiful, beautiful country. We're
yeah,
very blessed.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, and it's been an absolute joy, and I hope to see you soon.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.